The Rap Roundtable.
The Rap Roundtable returns with another edition, another installment of the vaunted, the illustrious Lunch Hour. 2023 is slowly but surely coming to a close, but shit ain't necessarily gonna change at the Rap Roundtable. We still gonna deliver how we've been delivering for this calendar year that we have had. Real quick, keep your heads up. For the long-time supporters of the Rap Roundtable, y'all know how we do at the end of the year. The Rap Roundtable year-end awards are coming with episode 87. I just want to make that announcement off the rip. Episode 87 coming next week. We're doing our year-end awards. We're handing out the Rap MVP. We're going to hand out the Female Rap MVP, Album of the Year. I'm considering a Most Improved because some people level their vibe up. You know what I mean? And a few other things, Verse of the Year, shit like that. We gonna figure out the rest of the categories, but y'all already know what we normally do. We give the females they love. We give out that Rap MVP. We talk about albums. We talk about verses, moments, etc. So be prepared for that. Year-end awards at the Rap Roundtable. Tap in. Also, on our next live, we're gonna do our top 10 lyricists of the year list. We're dropping our list. Last year's list went crazy on Twitter.
It did.
So I'm anticipating that it's going to go crazy again because, of course, as you know, we had a pretty strong year. The reach is even more longer than it was pause a year ago. So, you know, and when the Rap Roundtable does things, it tends to shake the table. I don't know what it is about our pod, but it seems to push the necessary buttons. So we wanted to make sure we put y'all on with that. If you're not familiar by now with who we are, it's your boy Jav. It's the homie Macito.
Yes.
No Deanie, no Sin. They got lives. It's a holiday season. Things are moving in a certain direction. So you got the two of us. And y'all know how we coming when we do what we do. When Mason and Jav get together, it's a completely different show. You know, I don't know if there's any chatty boy energy tonight. We'll see what happens. But Dame Dash, Macito, Dame Dash, on this podcast, yet again talking about the Jigger Man, the local celebrity rapper himself. Yes. He said that Jay-Z steals songs. He'll go and get somebody's record, and if it's hot, he'll take it and claim it as his own. You heard that. We know more news unfolded, but we want to parse this out in sections. When you first saw those video clips, Mace, take us into your mind. What were you thinking?
Man, first off, we want to shout out Ray Daniels, the Ray Daniels podcast. Like, he's going viral. You know, he's a new podcaster on the scene, long time in the music industry, long time in radio, behind the scenes. Like, really one of those guys. And he's one of those guys who's cracked the code on how to go viral often. You know what I mean? So shouts to him, shouts to their whole team. You know what I mean? Hopefully we can work together soon. But when I first saw this, I was like, here we go again, man. Here we go again. I felt it's like Groundhog Day. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when I see Dame Dash, I know I'm going to see him stunting. I know I'm going to hear about the many businesses that he has verticals on. If you watch the interview, I watched the whole thing. You know what I mean? I'm a glutton for punishment. You know what I mean? I always got 2 hours to spare till you get annoyed. You know what I mean? But listen, Jav, when I seen it, I said, Dame, like, are you tired of this yet, bro? Or like, aren't you tired of, you know, being asked about Rockefeller, being asked about Jay-Z, being asked about Leor Cohen and Def Jam and what they did to you? Like let's not get it fucked up. Dame Dash has done other legendary shit in his career, right? Our guys were speaking to us about the DD 1972 era when he had the Uptown spot, a hub of culture, of art, of music. You know what I mean? Obviously, we know the movies. You know what I mean? Even if it was during the Rockefeller era, Paid in Full and Paper Soldiers. You know what I mean? That's culture classics. You know what I mean? But listen, all you sound like is a disgruntled. You know, like, you know what, bro? Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Dave. You know what I mean? But you sound just like a old, washed up, disgruntled dude who like has nothing else going for him and is just upset in at the point of making shit up, because I feel the same way about him that I feel about Gene Deal at this point. Like, once we've gotten to like the 15th interview and you're still telling me new things that you're mad about, I'm get to the point where I'm like, I feel like you're making shit up at this point. You know what I mean? I feel like you maybe putting a little sauce on it. You know what I mean? But John, how are you feeling when you first watched this shit?
You know, my record is what it is on this pod. Jay-Z fan. You know, I can't dodge the allegations, even when I'm telling the truth, even when I question Hove, even when I wonder about his status as a full-time rapper or even a part-time rapper. The allegations are that I'm a whole venture, I'm emotional about it, and I can't be objective. So instead of me trying to push back against it, I'm gonna just lean into it. When I saw Dame talking, I'm like, yo, here we go again, B. Like, are you serious? Like, Dame again? Again, bro? Like, you know what? But then there's like the other side of me is like, let's go to like wrestling. One thing we love using the wrestling analogies here. If I have a wrestling promotion and I ask The Rock to just make an appearance in person,
right?
I'm not asking The Rock to come to my wrestling promotion and talk about like one of those movies, like whatever movie he did, like the Tooth Fairy or the Fast and Furious or Walking Tall or the football movie he did when he's the coach. I'm bringing The Rock to be the jabroni beating, pie eating, all of that. I want the promo. If you smell, if I'm lucky enough, we'll get a little jobber to come in. We'll get a people's elbow for the live crowd. I'm paying The Rock to be The Rock. So if you get Dame Dash to come on your podcast, if Dame don't talk about Hove on your podcast, what did you bring him there for? Did you get what you needed? Did you get your viral moment? Did you get your clickable moment? You didn't. You know what I'm saying? Every podcast is not the Rap Roundtable where we can say things on our own, just being ourselves, that is going to strike a nerve and it's going to trend. We're interested people when we talk about rap. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be like egotistical. What I'm saying is when we talk about rap, we tend to say things that are going to latch on. Shit. We talked about 3 Stacks in Scarface the other day, and that shit is doing numbers on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? The shit with Drake, just giving you just examples, or we get in trouble with niggas. You know what I mean? Guru, who we'll get to in a second. Much love to Guru, but he's on the list of people Guru was the first one. He's on the list of people we've literally gotten in trouble with for saying some shit.
Shouts to 2 T's, man. That's the
shout out to 2 T's. So it's like Dame Dash, I don't know if in the podcast space he has the means and the wherewithal without talking about Hove or being, quote, ultra CEO a la the Breakfast Club interview, where he's going to say something that's going to trend enough for people to give a fuck. So part of it is, all right, he knows what people wants, but he also knows that if I get paid to come on this pod, it's because these niggas want me to talk about Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. Right? He also knows how the internet works. If I want to stay on the tip of people's tongues, I gotta talk about Jay-Z. So it's a transactional relationship. So that's what's going on here. So that's my initial reaction. But I'm gonna play this tennis match with you. And I'm gonna send it back to you, Mace.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Forget the old boy shit. We heard the old boy story years ago,
right?
But from my vantage point, I thought that Hove was trying to do the remix after Old Boy went crazy. If my memory serves me correctly, he had the Old Boy beat, didn't want it. Killer took it, it did what it did, and then Hove wanted to do the remix. They tried to make it seem like Hove was trying to get on it before it went crazy and commandeered it. Hove was trying to latch on to whatever was already on fire. Right. So we'll throw it out the window. The shit that got me was when he said that Sparks had given to me and Hove stole that and did what it did. So you heard that he stole, give it to me from Emilio Sparks. What did you think about that?
And I'm glad we getting into the specifics, y'all, because I feel like we kind of think the same way, right? So I feel like the initial being upset about seeing Dame Dash talk about Jay-Z part is one thing, right? Because of that, not only because of how often it happens, but because of their past. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just two people you just don't like seeing, because in our formative years they was Batman and Robin, they was Shane and Vince. You know what I'm saying? But just like you say, y'all, we do have to actually analyze, what the content of what he was saying. So yes, I agree with you. I agree with you about old boy being that old boy story's been told. Like, that's like, they've told that story like 20 times. Like 20 different niggas have told that story. It's kind of crazy. Like Cam himself has told 10 different, like. But the Spark shit, at first I was like, like, from what it sounds like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, yes, like, basically, Sparks, at that point in your career, that is why you're in the studio. You know what I mean? Because the the main guy, you know what I mean, might have some ideas that the same way when Tupac came to Death Row, everybody gave all their songs to Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Dog Pound songs went to Pac. Snoop songs went to Pac. California Love was a Dr. Dre solo song. You know what I'm saying? That's how it usually works when the cash cow of the label is making their music. Like, everybody, your hottest shit, give it to Jay, give it to Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? Give it to, 50 Cent. I'm sure when G-Unit was running shit. So I don't think that's really a strange thing, to be honest with you. Like, like, Sparks didn't even have a song at that point in his career. Like, what would have, like, we probably would have never heard that song ever if it was just Sparks by himself. I'm gonna be honest, you know what I mean? Now, I get it. When you see Sparks talk about it in interviews, he seems a little bit upset. I seen an Oskino clip. He seemed pretty upset. Dame Dash is, cashing in on that. You know what I mean? Like, because Dame, like, you had the same power as Jay-Z at this point, right? You could have said something at that point. Everybody else can be helpless because you the artist. But Dame, all the shit you saying was wrong about Jay in the moment. Like, you could have said back then, but whatever. But when I heard this, I was like, I could see, like, a artist who didn't work out. Like, I could see both sides. Like, I could see Sparks saying, oh, that could have been my big shot. But me, personally, that's not strange to me that a line, they didn't say he had a song, right? He had the hook. They said he was spitting a line to himself over and over. Jay heard it and said, oh, I like that line. He already had the beat. He already, you know what I mean? He found Pharrell himself. So I believe what Sparks said. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, like, I believe what he said. But I just, listen, if I'm Jimmy Iovine, I say, hey, Sparks, give it to Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? If I'm Leor Cohen, if I'm any of these niggas, I want the business move is to give the fucking line to Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it works. Being mad at Jay-Z for that, you know what I mean? Like, come on now.
And here's where I'll jump in. Dame, just to reiterate, Dave said that Oskino had the song and then Jay took it.
Right.
Jarvis gonna say, Guru, I'm sorry. Jarvis gonna say, without any facts, that Sparks ain't have no fucking Neptune's beat. He didn't have no. He specifically did not have that beat.
Nah.
You're fucking lying, Dave. That did not happen.
That
did not happen. Like, you're no way. Emilio Sparks. Yo, listen. This is not even about Emilio. This has nothing to do with Emilio. This is not an Emilio slander. But we just, in the Rockefeller pecking order, a beat of that magnitude and a song of that magnitude is not going to Sparks.
Come on, bro. Come on.
I can see if it was a Just Blaze production, just the way the Rockefeller infrastructure was. Right. And we seen some of the fire that a nigga like Freeway. Freeway got some of the most fire Just Blaze beats. So I could see the vision, right? But there's no Emilio Sparks solo album anywhere. I'm not even. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not even being on no expert shit. But if you go through the State Property albums, is there any solo Emilio Sparks songs on Neptune's beats?
Bro. On or off Neptune's beats? Are there any solo Sparks?
And it's not to say
I gotta run back to State Pop album.
And it's not to say that the Neptunes weren't accessible, because they were still in the trenches. Shit,
Right.
nigga. Remember Philly's Most Wanted? So it's not like they were not fucking with Philly niggas who were not like mega stars. Philly's Most Wanted was like trenches ass Philly niggas. And they had that Please Don't Mind record that I fucked with that. So that's what used to get a lot of run on Rap City. I love that record. You know what I mean? So it's not out of the realm to think. But when I consider the Rockefeller pecking order, I just don't see how Emilio Sparks gets that song and Jay-Z steals it. I just don't see it. And you know, Dame always says he's an honorable nigga. He's a man of valor, etc., etc. So you sat in the Rockefeller offices and you just let Hove just debo niggas, and then they tried to lie about how the Joe Budden shit went down. He didn't steal Joe Budden's song. You know what I'm saying? He did a remix. He jacked the beat, which was a staple in the early aughts. Beats getting jacked by niggas. 50 was notorious for that. At a point, we used to wait for 50 to jack beats. What are we talking about? Fabulous, the Clue tape freestyle era. Right. Beats was getting jacked left and right. Shit, the Rockefeller D Block beef was literally with beats getting jacked on both sides.
Like shit used to do it.
Come on now. What are we talking about? So this whole concept of stealing, I'm disgusted by it. I'm really bothered because it's like, all right, Dane, like I said, we know that you got a job to do when you, because this podcast, are you a podcast guest in this realm where you going through from pod to pod? This is your job. You got a role to play and you're playing it. But don't just tell stories. Don't put shit on gas and lie, because now you slandering the nigga. Like, I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna put it on wax. It's giving her ex energy, bro. You acting like a hurt and a jilted ex. And I hate to say that about Dame, but when you start lying about past events and you keep badgering, you burying the lead. You know, Hove, say what you want about him, the businessman, shyster, he didn't do right, whatever the case may be. But Dame, you gotta, like homie said on the pod, you gotta take some accountability for this shit too. I rarely hear Dame take accountability for the fallout. It's them, and them. But we'll get to that part in a second, because I got more to say about that. Guru jumps in and he says that whole situation is cap. He says the Joe Budden shit was for a mixtape, as we just covered. And he also flat out says that the beat stealing situation with Oski, now I want to say Oskino, Emilio wasn't in fact factual. I see people on the internet, when they see Dame talk about it, they were quick to co-sign Dame's take. They loved it. But when Guru said it's not true, oh, that's cap. Guru's lying. Where do you fall with that, Mace?
That's what always happens, right? Like, whatever you want to be true, you're gonna believe them, right? Like, I can see people saying, "Hey, Dame, what Dame has, a reason to be upset, right? So why believe him?" But then the other side will say, "Hey, Guru have a reason to, co-sign Jay." Me personally, I feel like Guru would have just shut the fuck up. If it was true, it's like it just kind of would have existed on the internet. Like, when I hear Dame talk, it sounds like a person where a bunch of memories are in their mind. They might be jumbled up. They're not all the way clear. Because just like you said, like, if we just fact check, right? Give It To Me is 2000. Old Boy is like 02. Pump It Up is like 03. These are all different times in different situations. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Guru, he gotta come out and say this, because nobody else on the rock is really gonna come out and say anything. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at Guru, co-signing this guy. Like, Dame, like, it's the same thing when Memphis Bleak was going back with Dame, about the last couple things. You know what I mean? Like, Dame kind of been telling stuff a little bit different than the way it happened. So niggas is just coming out doing a little bit of fact checking.
And it's crazy that Guru don't even play the Twitter game. Like, he ain't been on Twitter in months.
Right.
And he came on Twitter specifically to let the world know that this is cap. And it's like, isn't Jay-Z's exploits enough to where you don't need to make shit up? Talk about all the true shit. Calling a nigga a song thief, like, you reducing him to that. And to the people out there saying that Guru's this and Guru's that, bro, like, You should want to have a friend like Guru who's gonna defend your name like that. Like y'all, some of y'all lack vision. Like why should Guru sit back and watch niggas lie on podcasts and go viral? He was in the room, nigga. He's the engineer. He did that. He would know. And again, I beg the question: how the fuck would Emilio Sparks get that record before Jay-Z?
And would we have ever heard it? If it was made like it was supposed to, would we have ever heard it? Like, and that's my thing. Like,
and I keep saying he's a shyster. I think at that point, that might have been Jay-Z's biggest single to that point.
Yeah.
And he's on the record. This thief still had enough wherewithal to say, yo, Steve, we didn't know who this guy was like that, but Give It To Me drop. And we didn't know. Did we know Emilio Sparks like that?
Hell no. And that's the thing. Like, if he wouldn't have put him on the record, right? He could have took the line and just, I don't know who was hot at that time. Donnell Jones, right? He could have rapped it himself. He could have put an R&B nigga on it.
Let Pharrell say that shit.
He could have let Pharrell say it. You know what I mean? He still put Sparks on the record. You know what I mean? Isn't there some sort of something you can say about that?
There you go.
You know what I mean? And with Dame, it's like, in this past year, right? The headlines from Dame have been what? This, right? Jay-Z still songs. Jay-Z broke up Rockefeller because I was with Aaliyah and he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like the amount of like Jay-Z. I never liked Super Ugly. Nas is cooler than Jay. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the type of shit that have come out in the last year, bro. Like. Damn, like, aren't you tired of this is the only time we hear your name, bro? Like, listen, I downloaded America New. Don't be mad at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm supporting. You know what I mean? I'm supporting your other ventures. I hope you make it back to the top.
You saw the Instagram ad?
I seen it from the interview. He mentioned it. He made everybody who in the spot download it. So I downloaded it. I said, fuck it, why not? You know what I mean?
And I'll take it a step further, Mace, before we move on. If he's talking like this on these interviews, and he's even kind of gone back and forth about, his position with Jay-Z, it makes me wonder the type of shit he was saying when they were all together. Because Dame give me the type of energy where when we get around niggas, they got that one nigga that show off with everybody around, and he'll call it cutting ass. He like to cut ass and all of that. But he really be low-key getting his shit off, like how he really feel about you in front of an audience and hiding it as a joke. I'm willing to argue that it probably was a lot of times that Dame was saying a lot of fly shit about Hov. Ha ha, he, how we cutting ass, pause, all of that other shit. And he was saying a lot of fly shit that niggas was looking at him like, yeah, that wasn't a joke, fam. Like, you meant that. You know what I'm saying? And even further, you bad money. You did certain things, and in my opinion, when you get in certain rooms and you get into a certain level of business and financials, you got to play that game. Every level of life that you get to, there's rules in place. So if you decide that you're gonna be CEO in caps and talk down on niggas, you better make sure you keep winning. Because the minute you start losing, there's no way for you to get back in the game. And that's what we're seeing in real time with Dame. You talk down on a lot of niggas to their face. And when they had a chance to get up and watch you fail, they put on the oldest pair of constructs and they stomping. And they're never going to stop stomping because you talked a lot of shit on the way up. Yes, you defended artists. Yes, you leveled up your brand. Yes, you did all of these things as a CEO. But at the same time, you didn't play the political game right. And you've been losing ever since. And now you're doing all this jilted lover shit, going back and forth about your feelings. You saying you made niggas and all types of shit. Bro, just... you know what? Stop talking about that, man. If that man don't want to make amends, keep that man name out your mouth. You a CEO. You got business ventures. When niggas invite you to their podcast, put it in writing. I'm not talking about Jay-Z. And let's move on because this is tired, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I mean, he compares himself to Steve Jobs, in the way they went about business. And listen, even so, like, you didn't see Steve Jobs talk about what's his name, Steve Wozniak in every interview after they broke up, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You gotta go separate ways, man. I never heard Jay-Z mention you.
Well, think about it. We can take it to sports before we go to the next segment. You rarely hear Phil Jackson talking about Jerry Krause. Jerry Krause don't miss a chance to slander Phil Jackson. Who is who in life right now? And we'll leave it like that. If you haven't already, follow us on social media. Instagram, Facebook, and of course, X, aka Twitter. Follow us on all of those platforms. Get familiar with us. Like we always say, each of these platforms gives a different side of the Rap Roundtable. It's not the same thing on every platform. Each platform, you get a different angle. You get the full 360 experience of what the Rap Roundtable is all about. So make sure you follow us on all these platforms. Get familiar. And of course, hit that like button. We need 300 likes on each and every video. You know, y'all been making that effort. You know, we know certain people stop watching the podcast because they were told not to watch the podcast, and they were weak enough to listen to that person who told them not to watch the podcast anymore. But for the real ones, the people who are in the trenches with us, pod after pod after pod after pod, the real heads who support what we do, we love y'all. Hit that like button. Don't let vultures tell you what you can and what you can't do because we don't support or whatever, or some kind of made up narrative where niggas is flat out lying about our fucking podcast. So for the real heads who are not easily influenced and in fact see through the bullshit, hit that like button. Keep supporting the Rap Roundtable because as you see what we do here, this is full participation. All of the listeners who support, they're basically parts of the show. If you're not in the chat, we talk to y'all on the socials. We real life fuck with y'all. Y'all know that. And the people who see us in the street, we show y'all love. We dap y'all love. And in some cases, we've even built with y'all. So again, hit that like button. And don't let these vultures out here tell y'all what y'all can and what y'all can't do because they're fucking phonies and they wouldn't talk to us in real life if they saw us because when they had the chance to talk to us, they declined. So, with that being said,
y'all shaking the table with it.
I'm just calling it what it is, Macito. The Rap Roundtable is one of the realest people in this space. And we've invited ourselves to platforms to set the record straight, and they ran.
They did.
Tell that. They didn't want.
That's kind of crazy.
They don't want us on their platform because they know they will look bad in real time because you're telling people not to listen to our podcast. You're a fucking clown. Anyway,
while listening on the low yourself.
Who does that? Who does that? Are you trying to pull people down to get yourself up? We don't support that type of energy at the Rap Roundtable. You know,
definitely not.
This is not here to tell me to chill. So, like, I'm not on chill time tonight. Hey, you know what I mean?
And you know, I'm the devil on your shoulder, so you know how that goes, y'all.
I don't gotta call no names either. And be clear, this is and for y'all snoopers. Again, the space is in a good place according to hip hop, Fresh Out, Ease, Tone. All these guys, we are on the same page. This ain't no pod wars or nothing like that.
I don't know.
This is
all them brothers, man.
This is a person in particular who's behind the scenes doing fuck shit. And again, and I want to make it clear, we invited ourselves or we asked to come on their platform and set the record straight. And the vessel that they sent to speak to us that supports them made it clear not in so many words that we are not allowed on that platform. So, with that being said, don't tell niggas not to fuck with us if you're not willing to talk to us. Because we would whatever. We always invite that. We've aired out our issues on the pod. We had Coop on the pod. We cleared out our issues on air. We're willing to have any conversation, whether comfortable or uncomfortable. If you're willing to tell niggas to not listen to us, get on air with us and stand on your square. But anyway, the Rolling Stones drops this list. And the only reason that this shit came on my desk, was because I saw that Sexy Red had the #1 song of the year according to the Rolling Stones. So I'm gonna get to the list in a second, Mace. Sexy Red, SkeeYee is the top song of 2023.
According to the vaults that work at Rolling Stone, yeah, this is the top song of the year. Listen, y'all, I feel like we gotta look at this contextually. You know what I mean? You know me, I like to break shit down into layers. You know what I mean? Me personally, the way I look at it is, mainstream level. I feel like a lot of us have felt rap has been a little bit of a disappointment this year on a mainstream level. Because I know there's a bunch of people that are gonna say if you can't find good hip hop, you waiting on people to give it to you. There's good hip hop out there. Trust me, us at the Rap Roundtable, we know this as well as any people we associate ourselves with. You know what I mean? But listen, on a mainstream level, I mean, what are the contenders? Sexy Red, for better or worse, might have defined mainstream hip hop this year. However you feel about it, guys. You know what I mean? At first I was upset too. I had the tomatoes ready, you know what I mean, the picket signs ready, you know what I mean. I was about to go get upset, you know what I mean, Radio Raheem style. The love and the hate was the same, you know what I mean. But listen, the kids loved it. They played it on the radio. You know, Sexy Red, you know, Drake took out, right? That's everybody's favorite culture motion, according to y'all, right? And when Drake take her out, you already know she lit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So listen, when I analyze it and look at what a organization, what an entity like Rolling looks at hip hop from, I was like, you know what, maybe. Yikes, but yeah.
You know, now that you put it that way, I'm always thinking about things in a big picture realm. That I look at it in through that lens of there's a lot of songs, and there's no way that Sexy Red SkeeYee could be the top song. But if you're talking about mainstream and how the powers that be, the gatekeepers, position certain shit, you might not be wrong. In fact, you're 100% correct. And I think back to one moment. It was in the late summer. The Jets was on HBO doing Hard Knocks, and there was a whole segment of one of those episodes that was dedicated to the song SkeeYee when they were on a practice field and everybody was dancing and getting lit to SkeeYee. In the first few weeks of the season, I think that was like the song that was getting niggas active. There's another song now where everybody's doing the dance. I don't know the name of the song because I'm tired of the songs with dances attached to it. That's kind of overtaking SkeeYee in the NFL. But at a certain point, SkeeYee was inescapable. You go on the Instagrams and you look at the Harlots pages and the IG stories. SkeeYee was like the theme song for that as well. So if we're talking about mainstream, all right, I see the vision, Mace. I'll back down, but then that just speaks to how trash the gatekeeper section of hip hop is, and the fact that Rolling Stones decides that they want to sanction all of this type of fuck shit and give it to us and serve us on a platter. So I got this list here, bro. You know what I mean?
All right.
At number 15, because it's the 15 song list. Be clear. At number 15, we have Offset and Cardi B. Jealousy. That video that had a whole lot of hype and it had a whole story. I think they was doing like a little baby boy cosplay and shit. That's the number 15 song, according to, like, number 15 where? Is this like a streaming thing? Because again, I drive to work every morning. My commute is about 45 to 50 minutes, so I'm in the whip. So in the morning time, I don't really listen to like rap unless I'm really in a certain type of mode, because I'll be half asleep. So I listen to the morning shows just to get an idea of what they're talking about, get a little news, and just be aware of what the radio is playing. I didn't hear Offset and Cardi B's Jealousy not one time during my commute. How is this a number of, I mean, radio is still like where the popular shit is played. Am I not mistaken in that front, Mace?
I thought so. You know what
So
I mean?
help me out here, bro. Like, Offset and Cardi B's Jealousy is number 15?
Nobody listened to that song after that weekend. I'm gonna be honest. B fans. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well,
nobody was jacking that shit.
Okay, so I'm not tweaking. All right.
Absolutely not. Listen, hell no.
We go to number.
There's hotter Cardi B songs that could be up there.
I thought Bongos would have been there beforehand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of confused. Not gonna lie to you. Number 14, we have Quavo featuring Takeoff, Patty Cake. So I could see the vision with the Takeoff and Quavo record. You know, rest in peace, Takeoff, off the rip. I think to me, it's a respect pick. It's a honorary pick. I feel like. That. Well, I feel like Quavo,
just because of my respect for Takeoff.
There you go. But if I'm not mistaken, Quavo and Future had Turn Your Click Up was the bigger record from that project.
It was. Like,
all right, so I'm not bugging.
If we're fact checking, you know what I mean? If we're fact checking.
All right. I fuck. Number 13. So I guess Doja Cat is a rapper because she's on this list with Agora Hills. I don't even know this song. Maybe I do. I know there's a Doja Cat song that gets played every morning on Hot 97 where it sounds like she's rapping
That's
with like
probably.
a white girl's voice.
I think Doja Cat songs. There's "Paint the Town Red," which is what I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
And this Agora Hills song. Agora Hills, I like it. You know what I mean? It's a bop. You know, and you know, in my crib it might be platinum, but I don't know about top 15 hip hop songs of the year. You know what I mean?
The song that I hear, she talks about she wants to show off her nigga. Like she says, I want to show you off. I hear it every single morning. I feel like that's Paint the Town
this is
Red.
it. This is it. Yeah. No,
You know
this
what I mean?
the Paint the Town Red is more of the Kendrick voice type.
Oh, so then this is Agora Hills, which would make sense with the white girl voice.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
All right, so then we get over to number 12, Central C and Dave, Sprinter. Now, no disrespect, Dave. Shout out to Dave. He was the greatest villain in the history of Top Boy. No one did a better job than Modi in Top Boy as being a villain. But Dave, why is your rap name Dave? We need something better than Dave. Like Dave L, Dave D, Dave Z, something. Like, come on. Dave Smith. Fuck. But Central C and Dave, Sprinter. I didn't know this song was that popping. Do you know about this record?
Yeah, Sprinter went up. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I can see this being a top 15 record. This is the first one where I'm like, oh, I understand.
All right. I gotta tap in then. I gotta do the knowledge. You know what I mean? Gunna, fuck you mean?
You know they want Central C to happen bad, so you know Central C had.
Oh, a white British dude? Of course they do.
Come on.
Gunna, fuck you mean is 11. Now, if you ask me, this record is way too low. This is a top 5 song by mainstream standards. Like this
top 5 easily.
You know what I mean? 11? I don't know about that one.
11.
Shout out to Fuck You Mean.
Listen, we know they number 1 don't deserve to be over Fuck You Mean. So I'm gonna be honest with you, like.
And then you'll be surprised to find out what's number 10, Mace. Hillbillies by Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar is above Fuck You Mean. I know Sincere likes this song, but I'm confused.
That's why I gotta see. Vote on this? Was he in the voting committee? We didn't know.
I think he was the vote.
Did he get 5 votes in this?
He was the voting committee. That's what I think.
For Hillbillies to make it, I'm sure.
Shit. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Number 9, J Hus.
Hillbillies had to be right in this list, man.
J Hus featuring Drake. Who told you? So now I have no clue what this song is. I'm defaulting back to you, Mace. What the fuck? J Hus featuring Drake. Man. What is that record?
This was of the Drake dropped at least 10 records better than this. This was popping for again like a weekend. Like it was like a surprise record. You know, Drake and Jay is Afro beats type of vibe. You know what I mean? You know, if you don't hear Drake made an Afrobeat song and you didn't hear it, you know it didn't ring on, Job. Like this is right up his lane. This shit should have been a number 1 record. Like I don't know. No, simple as that.
And this is where the point of the list, where the person who put it together is playing that. See, we know what's going on game that most list makers who don't know what the fuck you're talking about do. At number 8, we have 41 Bet. So now I like that song, right? New York, Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? Like drill record, but with the vibey side of drill. I like the record. But based on what I'm seeing on this list, I don't even know if Bent, no disrespect to these guys, because I love the record. I don't know if this song has even left the tri-state area. I don't know if this song is popping in Atlanta or Miami or Chicago or LA. So how is it top? Like, is it on any charts, Mace? Has it charted? Is it on the top 100?
Nah, it's not charting right now. So you might they might have like one voter who's like lives in Crown Heights, gentrifying shit. You know what I mean? That might have heard this record blasting our cars. Cause you're right. We love the record, but we get everybody is not us. I don't know. Like, it's being over Fuck You Mean. To be honest with you, that's kind of crazy.
And I want to be clear. Like, I love when New York gets vibey. I feel like when young New York gets in a vibey bag with that drill element, it's unstoppable. It is an unstoppable combination. Vibey drill that leans more grime than New York drill with that New York energy. Pop Smoke showed y'all niggas. It's an unstoppable mix. And I feel like 41 is kind of tapping into that vibe. Finally, someone figured out that maybe we should tap back into this shit. And they doing right by it. But number 8, I just don't know. I don't see the vision. This just feels like let's be trendy here, and I see right through you. Number 7, that's what makes it. Now I'm even more confused by this list. Number 7, Drake featuring J. Cole, first person shooter. So you're telling me that first person shooter it's just one slot above 41 bent? Come on, what are we doing?
Listen, one of the Drake songs in my didn't have to put J Hus and Drake. Like if you were gonna, if first person shooter was 2 picks away, you could have left that J Hus song on the cutting room floor, gang. Let's be honest here.
Insanity. Next one, Ken Carson, Jennifer's Body. What?
Ken Carson of this is one of the dudes that New Atlanta is putting their stock in, carrying the next lane, kind of in that, if you ain't heard him, kind of in that Playboy Cardi lane, had the famous line, "This in New York" on his record. I don't know if a lot of New Yorkers heard that. I wasn't trying to amp it up, but with all of that being said, no, absolutely not.
So you see that? So another New Atlanta nigga with little brother energy. That's what you saying?
Listen, man. It's like they born with it, Job. I don't know if it's in in the water out
New York. Yo, we still listen. Like anyway, I'm not even gonna feed into that. Now I'm annoyed. Now I'm annoyed with this list. Lil Yachty featuring J. Cole, A Secret Recipe. Fuck this list. Hey, what?
Listen, J. Cole's great verse, superb.
The most lopsided feature ever.
We probably ever. Like, let's be honest. Biggie and Puffy songs didn't sound this lopsided, bro. Like, no way. Like, no. Yachty's verse is too terrible for this to be a top song. You know what I mean? Like, if we just cut J. Cole's, come on now.
Like, I don't really. I'm as you can see, I'm stuttering because it's like one guy's performance was so ass that it leveled up a great performance even more so. Like I'm completely disgusted. Like y'all know how I feel about Lil Yachty. Like I'm moving on. I'm gonna go to number 4 because I'm gonna start cooking. We have V's at number 4. Not a Drill.
What's that, Job? I got cut off for a second. You know how that go.
I was saying number 4, we got V's, Not a Drill.
Oh, V's. V's been making noise. I'm kind of surprised he made top 5 on the Rolling Stone list. But with these last few picks, it seems like they kind of trying their best to seem like they know what regional sounds are going on. We got Bent out of NY, and we got Ken Carson out of Atlanta, and now V's out of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Very popular artist. Not really my lane, I'm gonna be honest, but I'm aware that he's making moves out here. Niggas fuck with V's.
This is definitely V's. Here's another one of those, like you said. We want to be tapped in. We want to show you that we're tapped in. We might be more tapped in than y'all, although we're really not tapped in at all. Kind of play.
Type vibes. You know what I mean? And in a year when nothing popped off, we can throw anything at the list, and they'll say we're right.
And then we get to number 3, and sad to say, I like this song. I hated it for a while until I heard it on big speakers, and then I was like, I see the vision. Ice Spice, Deli. This is one of the few songs that actually belongs on the list. Like, I don't care what you old niggas say. You know what I mean? I'm an old nigga, and I'm saying it. You hear Deli on big speakers, and you get it. Deli's not for your headphones. It's not for your crib. Deli is outside, big speakers, girl shaking, you know what, on the corner. Literally what the song is what it's meant to be in real life. So I'm not mad at this pick at all.
Listen, man, if people from one region are egregious enough to jack a flute album, then I'm going with this, man. Ice Spice number 3. I'm with it, man.
Listen, home team, nigga.
You feel me?
Like I always say, we watch niggas sanction a lot of bad rap over the last close to 20 years. So don't get mad at New York when and I don't even think Ice Spice is the bad rapper, but she not all world. So I'm gonna say this.
I say this about Deli. Of the songs on this list so far, I've heard Deli outside the most. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, I'm not even gonna do it. So, and then the next one, the song that if there was a song that has an argument to be number one, because I couldn't avoid this song all summer. Lotto featuring Cardi B, Put It on the Floor. Like I could not run fast enough from this song. Rip me out the plastic, I've been acting brand new. I could not, that first bar, I could not get away from that shit. It was like, turn this fucking song off. She had satellite radio in a chokehold this summer with this record. I'm talking about every rap channel that there is on satellite. This song was getting played like every 45 minutes, bro. Like it was unescapable, like the inescapable part of it. So I feel like this song should have been number one over SkeeYee. I don't know how SkeeYee beat it. You know what I mean?
Listen, this makes much more sense as the Cardi B pick over Jealousy. Y'all doubled up with Drake and Cardi B, but one of the songs from each of them had no business being on here. Just like you say, another joint that I actually heard outside kind of felt like the spiritual successor to what Cardi did on Tomorrow 2 with Glorilla last year. This is another song. You actually heard this shit outside, for sure.
And quite frankly,
women loved it, which is how I judge women rappers. I know people want to say certain women rappers are the best, but I judge by how women listen. And they love the fuck out of this song. I'm gonna be honest with you.
And I guess I'm gonna speculate a little bit and wonder if does Roller still have an issue with Nicki Minaj, because Barbie Girl not being on that list is crazy to me. That was the biggest female song this summer. Outside of that Lotto record, it was Barbie Girl, bro.
It was Barbie Girl, bro. That's the one that you like when Put It on the Floor again went off. Barbie Girl came on. Like
that was I would say the late summer Instagram song MVP for the ladies was Barbie Girl. Right. Like they would do their little shit. Oh, this was my weekend. They was playing the Barbie Girl shit. It's my birthday. They was playing the Barbie Girl shit. They was shaking some ass playing the Barbie Girl shit. Their little outfit on Saturday night or at the brunch, Barbie Girl. You telling me this song like this? See, industry politics is real funny. You know what I mean?
It is.
Now I gotta go do the knowledge and see is this Smoking Rolling Stone and Nicki Minaj, because that leaving her off, this is crazy.
Especially if you doubled up on two rappers. Two rappers got two spots on here, right? It might be more, but I know two rappers got two spots on here. And
Cardi just like you say, Aubrey got two.
Right. I think everybody else it was a one and done, to be honest with you. I agree with you. Barbie Girl kind of like they could have made SkeeYee third, because the thing about SkeeYee is it kind of the appeal of it, you know, however you feel about this was mostly the kids. Like it was something that kids could rap, something that kids could scream out. You know, you saw a lot of viral clips of teachers getting their class to learn with the shit. You know what I mean? So I feel like, Put It on the Floor again and Barbie World, like you said, like those were like more adult type of songs where people listen to. So I don't know. Rolling Stone, you know, y'all haven't been knowing what's going on since
industry politics. Again, hit that like button. 300 likes, even if it's just 1,000 of y'all watching this shit. Hit the like button. Get us at 300. It helps us with the algorithm. Also, roundtablemerch.com. Get you one of these. People have been still copping up, and we support y'all on. I got another shipment coming y'all way real soon. But I ain't sell out yet. So again, roundtablemerch.com. Run those purchases up. Get the flavors. Get whatever you need. Shout out to everyone who's copped up. But we need more purchases. It helps us build the brand and puts everything back into the brand. Hit the like button, roundtablemerch.com. And if you're feeling generous, of course, there's the Rap Roundtable on Cash App. Everyone who sent Cash Apps recently, we appreciate y'all. We got homie from the Bronx who sent us a Cash App about a week ago. Much love to you, bro. You know what I mean?
Yes,
but before we get out of here, not too long, we're going to spend too much time on it. 21 Savage said the album is on the way. There's 21 Savage American flags posted up all over Atlanta. On a scale of 1 through 10, Mace, how excited are you for a new release from 21?
10. Okay. Now, I'm not even... 21 is... If there's 10 artists who, if they drop tomorrow, I'm listening, 21 is on the list right now because of recent quality. Obviously, Her Loss was the last time we saw him. We got Savage Mode 2. Records that he might have been the highlight of both of those. You know what I mean? Even though Metro and Drake was with him, like 21 on a crazy roll right now.
I mean, I'm in lockstep with you. I'll take it a step further. This is like 12, 13 for me, only because I've gotten to watch 21's ascent, like when he was part of that notorious freshman class
Yeah.
that everyone hated, I've seen him make the efforts to become a better rapper. Say what you will about him, and there's gonna be people in the chat who disagree and say, "Oh, he's whack, whatever, whatever." But if you hear 21, it's a nice era 21 to all the way through her loss 21, even the feature runs that he's been on in between that, that's not the same artist. And I was a person who, to tell you a backstory, like I went into Savage Mode 2 a little curious because it's like I was like, this is getting a little bit better. He's not no super lyrical schmirical nigga, and he's not trying to be. He's making his own records. Then I put on Savage Mode 2. Savage Mode 2 is when I made the complete turn. Like I became a fan. I'm like, oh, this album is tough. Like it ain't no multi-syllabic shit, but his songs got concepts. Metro did a good job of directing him. He did a good job of taking direction. He has a magnificent ear for beats, and it's something about him and Metro, their chemistry, impeccable. I'm like, oh, this is fire. Front to back, the album is fire. If you haven't heard Savage Mode 2 by now, tap in. If you're a lyrical head, don't listen. But if you're a person with an open opinion about rap and you'll listen to everyone and you haven't heard Savage Mode 2, tap in.
Check out that Without Warning too. The collab album he made with Offset.
Yes.
That's another crazy joint.
That was the project that made me give Savage Mode 2 a try. Because I'm like, oh, this is kind of all right. You know what I mean? I was still in that phase where I'm not supposed to like this, but I think I like it. But I'm gonna wait till the next one drops. And then when I got the Savage Mode 2, I was like, ooh, this thing all right.
Right.
And then he did the joint on Heroes and Villains, Walk 'Em Down, a little solo joint, fire. We saw what he did on Her Loss. He had the joint, the boo, boo, boo. That joint, I mean, that came out the summer. How was that not on the
Peaches and Eggplants joint? Yeah.
Yo, fire. He's done a lot. Him and Nas had their little situation. They squashed it. Did a little collab as well. That was tough.
Dope joint.
Like, we're watching 21 ascend. I think if I'm not mistaken, he was on For All the Dogs as well. So he's ascending, right, bro. He's ascending, and you should buy some stock in 21. I'm fully anticipating it. I think this album is gonna be fire. Do you know if Metro's gonna be on there? Is he producing it front to back, or?
They haven't mentioned yet, but I gotta assume Metro and 21. Like come on, Metro. You gotta expect him with Future. You gotta expect him with 21. Small caveat, y'all. Can I ask you about it?
Talk about
it. Low key, a fight for the soul of Atlanta, because listen. Future is at the point where he hovers above. Like, he's the J and the Nas. You know, if you want me to put it in Atlanta terms, he's T.I.G.Z level now. Like, he's solidified. You know what I mean? He's a GOAT. You know what I mean? Gunna's the hottest nigga in Atlanta. By the way, his hottest show was in New York. Shouts to the Barclays Center. But Gunna's the hottest nigga in Atlanta right now. And so, I wanted to see what happens on 21's next drop. If it's as big as Gunna's album this year, if he can give us a single as big as Fuck You Mean, and what the support behind him will be. So we seen Gunna had an uber successful year. Atlanta, show us how y'all want the person that y'all want to represent y'all. Y'all gotta boost him to even higher levels than he's already been. So interested in that little caveat, and wondering if you was watching that as well.
You faked me out. I thought you was gonna say the soul of Atlanta was gonna be Yachty versus 21, because we're watching what Yachty's doing, and Yachty, much like 21, he kind of attached himself to Drake on a friendship level, and that kind of turned the volume up on both of their presences in the game. But I think Yachty is such a trash artist that's getting a lot, but he's getting a lot of looks. Yeah. I'm concerned about the soul of Atlanta, because I mean, I'm an outsider. What do I know about Atlanta? But from an outsider's perspective, I think Yachty represents everything. All of the what's the word I want to use? All of the misnomers, all of the cliches, all of the preconceived notions about what people up top might feel about Atlanta rap. Lil Yachty represents that in a negative sense. Whereas 21 could be the person that could show you that a young nigga out of Atlanta who's not a boom bap head could still bring a raw kind of energy that we all love. At our core, all rap fans of a certain generation love that raw shit.
Come on.
And that's 21. When we see Yachty, to me, when we see Yachty, we see the niggas with the big t-shirts snapping and really making a mockery of the culture. When I see 21, I see a nigga who saw rap as a vehicle for success, and then once he got popular, he decided to take this shit seriously and level up his abilities and make some shit true to himself. Even if some of the bars are repetitive, he's not out here making fuck shit and trying to tell you it's a new wave of culture. When we look at Yachty, that Yachty is everything we hate about that. I don't even think Gunna's in the Atlanta conversation. Gunna to me is persona non grata in Atlanta. That's why he had to do. That's why he had to do the show in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how Atlanta's really feeling about him. I don't know if he's sanctioned in Atlanta. I don't know.
I don't think he is. To be honest with you. You
know what I'm saying? But when I look at where Atlanta's going and where hip hop is going, and we're gonna talk about that on 87 about this whole hip hop is dead thing. I think it's Yachty and it's 21 for the new era. And if Yachty keeps building his Q rating up, that's gonna be bad for hip hop. I think hip hop younger hip hop needs 21 to dominate, because then it's a purity about 21 that doesn't exist with Yachty, in my opinion. I think Yachty is everything Joe Budden said about Yachty. I stand right next to him with that. As hip hop concerned, not a personal attack. When it comes to hip hop, I stand next to Joe Budden. When it comes to 21, I want him to be as successful as possible. Real shit needs to win.
It has to. And quality. That I kind of like that, especially when you think about 21 being like I said, a spiritual successor to like a Jeezy T.I. type of thing, and Yachty clearly coming from the Snap era, like you said, like the Young Jocks and them franchise boys and that whole. You got a point, Job. You got a big point. Things will be interesting following this 21 release.
And then imagine him coming from that era of trying to talk like he's a new age rap snob. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Man's listened to a Nirvana album once and said he got it all figured out, bro.
But nevertheless, this has been a lunch hour. You know what I mean? Follow us on the socials. Tap in. Hit that like button. Hit the comments. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe. You know what I mean? We working our way. We creeping up. We at 12.6. Let's get to that 13K plateau. Hit that subscribe. Hit that like. And again, I bears repeating. Do not let niggas tell you what to do. If they telling you not to listen to the Rap Roundtable because we don't, quote, ride for Nas, look at the body of work.
Come on, man.
Look at the body of work. Yeah, I'm a Hov fan. Yeah, I've said things in support of Hov and against Nas, but I've also said things in support of Nas against Hov, and vice versa with everybody on the panel. If nothing else, the Rap Roundtable keeps it funky. So when that person is on that panel or wherever they at, telling you to not listen to our show and doing all kinds of weird shit, don't listen to them. Let your eyeballs and your ears dictate what's real and what's fake, and you'll realize that the Rap Roundtable is the genuine article. Mesito, take us home.
Hey, genuine like Timberland's mans, you know what I mean? Shouts to the homie Dean, you know what I mean? We miss you, brother. We know you under the weather. Sin, you had to handle business tonight. You know we looking out for you. You know what I mean? I'm that's your boy, you know, Jog, the fucking point guard off the backboard, you know what I mean? The first MVP, you know what I mean? The first of many, you know what I mean? Listen.
It's a strong year, you know what I mean?
I'm just a guy, you know what I mean? But that's what I think. I'm just a guy, you know what I mean? And the guy is, you know, I'm your boy Mace, you know, voice of the industry. You know, we're the Rap Roundtable. And we're out of here, guys.
Boom, nigga.
You heard.